I'd actually missed his phone call like 5 times, and I later learned this, but he showed up at the shop and he's like and we were talking about this, like, exact situation, but, he ended up showing up at the house, and I don't even think it was day 1. I think we were, like, 2 or 3 days into staying at the end of the hills after the
Mm.
burn, trying to figure out where we were going, literally, like, everything in chaos and just not knowing what the next step was, and he showed up at the house, and he texted me, and then we weren't even able to make contact then. Said, like, 2 things, I ended up back on the phone, still dealing with insurance back and forth and
Mm.
phone call after phone call, and he just texted me and sent me your contact, and he told me, he said, "He has John has a place for you that he thinks he can get you into, you need to call him." Well, later that night, we had finally, like, found 5 minutes of actually, it was a horrible idea, but I told my wife, I was like, "I just wanna go sit down somewhere and eat and have some kinda normalcy,"
Yes.
and I picked bonsai.
Dude. Yeah. Ding, ding,
After the
ding, ding, ding,
fire.
ding.
Yeah, so the kids were traumatized. Yes.
Gosh,
Like, the
bro.
guy cooking for us quit. Like, he felt the vibe.
Bro.
Total silence, not making a
Who chose
scratch.
bonsai?
I did.
Oh
I'm
my
like, "Let's go sit down and
gosh.
eat some decent food." And so I'm sitting in the parking lot,
Oh.
and I had called you when we were kinda playing phone tag back and forth, never
Yeah.
even met,
Yeah.
and that's whenever I got back on the phone with you, and it was just the initial the first transaction of us communicating, it
Yeah.
felt right. It felt genuine, it was, like, organic for sure, and just a godsend.
Yes.
Um, and here we are today.
Here we are, brother. Here we are. I feel like, you know, things happen for a reason. I feel like people meet for a reason. Sometimes you're like, why the heck is this happening to me? And you don't realize God has a plan. And then, you know, now here we are, dude. So I want to back it all the way up, dude.
Okay.
All the way up. Like, how did you and John like you and John met, through who you are. So if you don't mind pulling this up to you, kind of like I
Yeah.
have mine, like scoot that whole thing closer to you and then turn this mic towards you. There you go,
Like
brother.
that?
We're ready, dude.
Got it.
Okay. Matt Crenwelge. Dude, where did you grow up? Are you a Kerrvillian? What's your story, man? Okay, let's talk about like where you started and then how you got to A&M Tire.
Okay. Um, I'm from Kerrville. I was born in San Antonio. My parents, before they split, lived in Hondo, so, like, the first year-ish of my life was in Hondo, but my grandparents were my mom was raised here, and we just ended up over there because my dad's side of the family for a year and then so on, but, Kerrville's my home, 100%.
Yeah.
Um, I have 8 kiddos, 5 of mine, 3 I'm married to. They're all mine, but
Amen.
thank
Amen, dude.
you. And it's been a journey for sure. I worked I had my oldest at 17, was going to Tybee, um, left to go to Hill Country High School, and then started working at Discount Tire, and I thought I was making a career out of it. I spent '06 to 2018 at Discount Tire.
12 years,
So, yeah, 13 almost.
13
Yeah.
years.
Or somewhere maybe 12. Yeah, yeah. Um, and I really, I thought I was learning a trade and learned
Yeah.
met some great people and learned some amazing things along the way. I mean, besides business, Mr. Holly, the guy that started Discount Tire, has 5 lessons in life that I teach to my kids. Be honest, work hard, have fun, be grateful, and pay it forward. And I think that legacy carries on even outside of the Discount Tire community. If you've been there and were a part of that culture, it was what that was founded upon. And granted, some of that stuff has changed,
Mm.
and the culture has changed now. But uh, for the old school guys that were there, that
Mm.
like we bleed that, we believe in that.
You know, a lot of people leave a place, start their new place, and don't speak as highly of that place like you just did. You know, everywhere you go, you learn these lessons, and they stick with you, and they make who you are. You
Yeah,
know, those 5 lessons that you still teach your kids, man. That's amazing, dude.
yeah. And that's, I mean, a lot of similarities. Mr. Holly has a book called Six Tires, No Plan. And the same way that in that book, he started with 2 new tires and 4 retreads. Ann Arbor, Michigan, old Sears station. He had to roll the tires across the street to air them up. Didn't even have an air compressor. Now they control like 17% of the global market. Multi-billion-dollar company. I mean, it's phenomenal. Great, great company. Granted, it's corporate now, but
Yeah.
literally when we started, I had $700 to my name. I put 250 of it in the till to make change for my customers, and then made a Facebook post of friends and family that, hey, I'm back in the tire game. From 18 to 20, 2 years I was out, still doing some of it, a lot of it, COVID and whatnot, in my driveway at home, and just kind of like everybody, just trying to figure out what's next during that crazy time for, I feel like all of us.
Yeah.
We're
Yeah.
kind of just trying to adapt to what the new normal was. And I got a phone call. I actually talked to Russ, the old owner of Wagner, in 18 whenever I left Discount, and asked him if he was interested in selling it. And he just wasn't at that time in his life. And then I randomly got a phone call. I was like in the mix of still doing mechanic stuff, working on getting a dealer's license, none of it going the way I wanted it to go.
Mm.
Um, just turning wrenches in the driveway and trying to get that off the ground. And he calls me, and I asked him, I was like, are you in town? He's like, yeah. I was like, I'll be there in 5 minutes. A week later, we're signing papers and shaking hands, and we're 5 years in
Are you
to,
serious?
yeah, of just the part of what you, it's not the 10-year, 15-year overnight success.
Yes.
And it's totally different. Of as all the good things that came from Discount, there were lots of sacrifice that you don't see, especially as a young adult, of especially as a man's perspective
Mm.
of wanting to provide for your family and thinking that you're doing that and feeling like you're doing that and not realizing the hours away that you sacrifice. That, like, you want to talk about sacrifice, go ask my kids, my oldest now, and just stuff that you never see, and the stuff that it frees you to do once you are able to step into the position that I'm in now, to be able to make the games, to be able to be home for dinner, to you have 100% responsibility for all of it, but you have the autonomy to go do all these other collective things, that the real important things.
At that moment when so dude, I have so many questions that just built up off of what you said. You took a leap of faith and started your own business. You didn't know you were going to make it.
No.
Why did you take that leap of faith?
um I knew I could do it. And I didn't know. I've learned so much along the way.
Yeah.
If I was still a manager at Discount, I would have ran my store totally different to how I manage my store whenever I was working for them.
Really?
Absolutely. You don't think about who's paying the light bill until you're paying the light bill. Like, you tell your kids that, like, turn the lights off, but whenever it's commercial and you're like, it's just things that you look at differently because it's coming out of your pocket versus
Mm.
being corporate, or the things, and then still being able to give back, or like do what's right because it's the right thing to do
Yes.
without it. Like, if somebody needs a tire and they don't have the funding, or what, like, we don't have that, but like,
Yeah.
but
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
like part, like, I had a conversation with one of my guys the other day of, this lady came by and he calls me, he's like, I'm going to pay for it out of the till. I'm going to pay for it out of my pocket. I said, no, you're not. I said, you're going to do exactly what you said you were going to do just now, but you're not going to, that doesn't come out of your pocket.
Mm.
That doesn't come out of my pocket. That belongs to the business. And that is exactly why we're successful because you understand the situation. She had $50 to her name. You said, and instead of taking her $50 that you told her you were going to sell her that used tire for, just put it on there. And then the tire didn't even work. And he calls me back. He's like, "Hey, the tire's bad." I said, "Pull a new one off the shelf and just put it on there." We're still doing that. That customer, because of that relationship, it had nothing to do with the monetary value of the product, but that one, you were there to help them in their time of need, like
Yes.
you were to me.
Yes.
And then two, every transaction after that will never be an issue of what the financial side of it is because they trust you.
Yes.
Because we're not in the tire business.
That's correct.
We're in the people business.
Yes, dude. Yes.
That is
Oh my gosh.
my whole team has the ability to do that. They have the responsibility to do that. Every one of those guys has a heart. And that was another thing that I learned along the way of I came home every single day beat up. When we first opened, it was my wife answering the phone and me running the back of the room, putting the tires on, telling the guys, "Hey, we'll order them. I'll have them at 3:00." Didn't even have the funds to do it. Can you go ahead and pay for it in full, and I'll get you knocked out whenever you get here. And then put every dollar back into the business. Never took anything out on credit. And then just
Organically.
paid for it one tire at a time. One tire at a time. The machine break, you'd pull out, and I mean, for 2 years probably it was like that. And then you had to ask the next question because I'll just keep like there's so much of it.
Keep going, dude, because these are the things that most people don't even realize going into business. I'm gonna go be my own boss so I have less hours to work.
You work twice as much, but you're working for you.
You hear that old cliche. Yeah, when you own your business, you're gonna work twice as much. But then you added another part there. But you work for you. I learned that I'm a business owner too, dude. And a lot of people, that real estate, whatever, they don't think you're a business owner, dude. Just because I work for the Tinsley Realty Group,
Yeah,
my business is John Barrera.
absolutely.
And I'm not like flexing or whatever, but that is my business.
Yeah, absolutely.
That is my business.
That's you.
That's my baby.
Yes.
Without operations, without me, there are no operations. And then so I'm listening to everything you're saying, and dude, you're one of hundreds that have been in that seat, and dude, it's just a blessing to sit here and listen because I forget we're recording sometimes.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Dude, I'm getting all this information, and I hope that the listeners, well, I know that the listeners get this value too, but please, man, don't stop. Tell me, I want to hear these things. I want you to be a reoccurring guest. Tell me what's going on,
absolutely.
bro. Come every quarter, every year, every half year. I don't care, man. Tell me, what's going on in the market. What's going on? What have you seen? What happens when the roads get hot? What happens when the roads get cold? You know what I'm saying, dude?
Yeah.
Like, tell me these things, even if it's a 20, 30-minute show. Matt, you're welcome, bro.
Thank you.
Yes, man.
Yeah, it's just, and it like you're saying, like it changes. As you were saying that, I was thinking about, have you ever been on Acts Retreat?
I have been on
walked
one.
in Emmaus, or
I have been on one, and this was before I found Christ.
How was it? Can we talk about that?
Of course, man. Of course.
Where was it local? Did you do it here?
It was in Comfort, I believe, or we met in Comfort and drove off into the hills somewhere, and it was when my brother was alive, and I didn't realize everything. But long story short, without giving too much information about the Acts retreat, at the very end, my brother showed up, and I dream about that all the time, and I like, when you're walking out, and then you have that sense of the Holy Spirit, and like you see your family, and
Yeah.
my brother was there, and then like I feel like that's how, in a sense, that it's gonna feel when I open my eyes and I see my family and Jesus too. You caught me off guard there, dude.
Sorry.
No, man, no. This is very healthy. This really is, man. Because a lot of these emotions and thoughts, I keep suppressed, dude. I push them back down, and I don't talk about them, you know. And and it's healthy to dust those memories off and talk about them.
The the inspiration of that conversation was you talking about bringing me back, and so my second trip on Axe, I was on Teams, and they asked me to speak, and I'm kind of telling my story from a little bit different, but this is like if I went back, this is another one of those lessons along the journey that I would be able to add to that of my story
Mm.
and being able to tell you like, hey, like life hadn't always been peaches and cream.
Mm, yeah.
Like my wife and I have struggles. My business has had struggles. My family has had struggles. I remember in Christmas Eve. Okay, so Thanksgiving 2011, my dad took his own life. I hadn't been to Acts yet. This was just like kind of whenever I collaborated all these things that had happened along the journey and put them all into one to now be sitting here and have another little feather in my hat to add to like, hey, this is the fires, the thing that happened, but
Yes.
this right here is the divine intervention of the why behind the how.
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
um,
That was very very beautiful. Like what you put together there.
um, so the following year, I get in a car wreck. Um, do you know Sebastian Ybarra?
I think so.
Maybe
I think so.
he was in the car with me. I grew up with him, known him since I was 4 years old. Raised our kids together, worked at Discount Tire together. Literally have pictures of us together.
Sebastian, dude, I think I know. Has like short, kind of spiky hair.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. As you're speaking, I'm gonna look him up real quick.
Um, he was killed in the wreck. Killed him, put me out for 18 months, and I had another buddy with me, Anthony. And I remember laying in a hospital bed up until that point, and wasn't like a really good person, honestly. Like not a good human, or maybe like doing things right but not doing the right things,
Hmm.
prospectively. And the rest of it was just like, just kind of living life, thinking I knew what was going on.
Is he Daniel's older brother?
No, Daniel works for me.
Yeah, yeah. Ibarra, right?
Yes,
Okay.
and I think they are related somewhere, but I don't know. Yogi was his dad, Yogi Barra. I know a lot of people knew Yogi.
Yeah.
Um, but I remember laying there and I scrolled across this Inky Johnson post. He was doing um, like a presentation at West Point or something. It was at a church for a congregation, and it sideswiped me, hit like a ton of bricks. Totally different. Like you were looking at all this one way and never saw it from this side. Like you're climbing this mountain and you're looking up and it looks like a mountain, and then you look at it once you get to the top and it's a totally different point of view.
Mm.
Totally different. Like Goliath was a mountain of a man, but he fell too. To like totally change the perspective of like us getting hit by a drunk driver and thinking like that could have been me.
Mm.
I've done
On the other
guilty of
side,
that. Yeah,
me
I've
too,
been
brother.
guilty of
Me too.
doing that. Prior to all of those things,
Me too.
that was like a weekly occurrence for me of
Same.
spending all the like when I wasn't at work, I was drinking, whether I was at
Yes.
home or yeah, all the time I was. And then after the wreck, I was addicted to painkillers. I never saw that one either. I was
Because
on
you
a
were on painkillers so long, and then,
yes.
dude, that's how
And
people get into heroin,
I
bro.
never knew that. I never knew what an exit plan was.
Mm.
Doctor never talked to me about that. I was 18 to 20 hydrocodone a day.
Bro.
And that doctor told me whenever I went back into my pain management, he's like, hey, there's no way. I'm like, I'll sit here in this office and show you, but Yeah, yeah, there is, and that was before it was like Schedule 3 at that. That was like right around that transition at
Mm-hmm.
some point. And yeah, I mean, it's just all the little pieces of life changing and overcoming and looking at it different.
Yeah, you see, a lot of people see people like you and me, and they see the business, they see the very tip of the iceberg, and they don't realize all of the traumatic experiences and really messed up things that we have been through, and the things that we've seen, the people we've lost, the screams and the sounds that linger in our minds, and people don't understand, and nothing, because other people are going through this too.
Yeah.
It's not just you and I.
Yes.
So, but what I'm trying
I
to say is, people see people like us and like, man, they got their stuff together. I've never met a humble, genuine human being who hasn't been through these
Me either.
traumatic experiences. And I wish, dude, I could have one without the other. I wish I could erase some thoughts and sounds and pictures and images in my mind, but it just does not happen. So I think all of these things that you and I have been through make us cherish just a taste of normality in our lives. Like something simple like sitting around dinner and all of our children are breathing, and our family is there, bro. And that right there, that is a sign of a rich man.
Yeah. Yeah.
Forget the money, bro.
100%. I had one of my good friends, Jesse. We like iron sharpens iron. Me and you, iron sharpens iron.
Amen.
I believer in that.
Bro, I want you to know you're stuck with me for the rest of your life.
I'm down
I
with
got your
that.
back all the way to the freaking end. I'm
I'm
not kidding, Matt.
100%.
I got you, dude. And all the way, dude, till we're little old men. If we're not taken before then, dude, I got your back, bro.
Me
I
too.
do. I knew who you were when I listened to you and I first met you. And there's something deep within our human genetics that we know.
Yeah.
We know. We have this
I believe
sense
that
of
too.
people.
I remember where I was sitting when I was on the phone with you, and just, I'm literally in the parking lot on the phone with you, and I'm like, how do I sell this? And I'm like, I'm just gonna tell them like the truth. I just need like this is where I'm at. This is where I'm like.
Yes.
I remember telling you like we don't
Yeah.
have pets, we don't have this. Like I'll figure out how to pay for it.
Dude.
I just need somewhere to put my family.
Exactly.
And then you call them back and be like, hey, if you want it, it's yours. I'm like, I tell these people all the time, I'm like, you wouldn't imagine how the community came together. Like me not even knowing John. And I was like, he showed up like, I think our last talk that night was 11:16. I'm like, this dude showed up, and you might have to edit this too, but the transaction with JC.
Yeah.
I'm like that was that confirmation from him showing up, us putting the money in our hand, already being in the house that night. Like, hey, you can move in. Tell me at midnight. Like if we would have beds that night, we would have been in there. I picked up the phone and called John Skrmita. He's the owner of the Ashley Home Store down here.
Bro, shout out to him too, dude.
I couldn't.
Tell Kerrville, bro.
They're everybody, like the whole community. If I miss you, it's not because like there's so many. I couldn't name them all. I seriously couldn't. Like I'll be saying thank you every time you come to the store for the next 30 years. Like it'll be like we'll be catching. There's
Dude.
messages I still haven't responded to,
Bro.
that I've ran into people, even in HEB the other day. I'm like, bro, I'm so sorry. And just they're like, no, man, I'm just checking on you. I know you got a lot going on,
bro. It's
and just trying to juggle it all.
Bro, Kerrville. You told me how Kerrville came together, dude, and I you apologize at certain points, and I was like, what the heck is he? And then in my mind, I'm like, bro, I'm gonna need you at some point. Like we all are on different parts of our path, our trail or whatever. Bro, it might be raining on my trail, it might be sunny on yours. Hey, can I borrow your umbrella for a daggum second? And And the next thing you know, when it's raining on yours, here's your umbrella, dude.
Yeah.
Like, that's what I'm saying, brother. And this Kerrville podcast, dude, it started because I had a selfish mindset with my friend Mike at the time. And it started because I wanted one place to where I could sell to nothing but businesses. And I wanted to interview these businesses. And I'm vulnerable right now, and I'll say this. It started as I want to make money. You know what I'm saying? Next thing you know, it turned to this, dude.
Yeah.
And I interview Kerrville, and I'm so daggum passionate about the people who make up this place, dude. It's real, brother.
Yeah.
It's
It is
real.
such a brotherhood. Like they're in anywhere. I mean, there is other places, but the community itself, the people, the just the all of it, man. It just helping one another,
Yes.
doing what you're supposed to do.
Yes, dude.
We're meant to do this alone, and like you're saying, like our challenges on Earth are similar. I mean, they really are, and just being able to be in like-minded environment of positive people that I tell people all the time, if your friends don't want to see you make it, who would?
Mm.
And that's regurgitated. But I took that from a buddy of like that lit the light bulb whenever he said it. Like stopped me in my tracks, and I'm like, you know what? You're exactly right. Exactly right.
Mm.
And being able to pay that forward, just like you're saying,
Yes.
back to this being full circle of I would never want to be so broke that all I have is money.
Mm. Dang.
I know. When I heard that,
Where'd you get that, dude?
I couldn't tell you. If
I'm
I find
stealing
it,
it.
100%.
That was good, brother. That I don't ever want to be so broke that all I have is money. It's the truth, dude.
It is so much the truth. That all that is a resource. Money, all that is a resource. But whenever it's used for opportunities like this, and granted, we all have to make a living.
Yes.
I'm not saying that.
Yes.
By any means. If you're going to spend your money, spend it with me. If you're going to spend
That's
your
right.
money, spend it with you.
That's right.
I have rebuilding our house. Tell insurance to cut a check, and I'll call my friends.
Mm.
I know they'll do it right. And if somebody's going to get paid, why wouldn't I want? If I don't want to see my friends make it,
That's right. Not
Yeah.
some third party big
Yes.
box business that don't even know your first name, dude.
yeah,
It just, man, we will. So the first time I met you, I don't know if you remember this or not, dude. I had a 91 F-150 standard, and bro, my steering wheel was like this. And I was like, man, I might be selling this truck to try to move up to another vehicle so it looks halfway presentable for my pressure washing business at the time. And I'm like, I just, can I, is there, I don't know, do y'all do alignments? Can you get this wheel straight? It drives straight. You're like, no, man, but I can do it, dude. Bro, you went in under there with 2 wrenches and you were under there for like 10 minutes. Next thing you know, is it straight? I'm like, yeah, it's straight. And then I'm like, dude, how much is it? How much do I owe you? And you're like, nothing, man. Just, next time think of me. When next time you need new tires, think of me. Bro, 2 sets of new tires later, bro. You got me. I'm yours, man. I'm yours for life. And it just, you provided value to me, not seeing the potential in me, not seeing who I was going to be years later. And what you said earlier about that lady who needed that one tire, bro, you got her for life too.
yeah.
I'm telling you, Matt. I'm telling you, dude. You do it organically. You are genuine about your business. When somebody looks you in the eye, they see and they feel exactly what I did that first time we met. And when somebody looks me in the eye, they feel the same thing. The consumer is so smart.
Absolutely.
The consumer knows. The consumer has access to information in this little thing right here, and they know if you're screwing them, if you're messing with them, if you're overcharging them, if you're lying to them. They know, brother. They know. And you cannot, in this community, snake oil your way through business.
Nope.
The market will chew you up and spit you out quicker than anything.
Absolutely.
And people like me and you love it. We love it, dude, because we know in the long run, we will continue to win.
Yep.
We will continue to win through providing value, through loving our people, through loving our community, and not focusing on the dollar, but focusing on the people. Before my dad died, he told me, boy, if you focus on that dollar, the people won't come. Talking sales. If you focus on the people, the dollar will always come.
So true.
The dollar will always come. And I took those words and ran with it. And you know, these people who, it's crazy, all these people made who we are.
Yes, absolutely.
You know, our dads made us who we are, good and bad situations.
Yeah.
You know, every action has an equal and opposite reaction, and every experience is a tattoo on your soul of who you are. And there is no faking it. There is no faking it. You can try, but people will see through
Yeah.
it. You know, but that's my rant, bro. That's my TikTok for the day
Yeah.
right there.
100%.
But okay, dude. So, A&M Tire, you're there, bro. You're established. You've had your trials, your tribulations, and you're there. What now, dude? I know you're passionate about your employees, about your people. I know you focus on giving them the best life and best opportunity to move forward, whether it's home ownership or every guy I talk to over there is happy. So what's your next move with A&M, man?
Um, we want to grow. I'm I'm like kind of struggling with the vision, not seeing it, but just not knowing what the next step is,
Mm,
or maybe even knowing what the next step is. Just trying to grow responsibly,
mm-hmm,
for lack of better words. Um, we've been looking at a couple locations around the whole country. I don't want to grow to the point that my customer base doesn't have my cell phone number. I feel like half of our community does, and that's how we conduct a lot of business. And
wow.
and so do my employees,
Why is that so
because
important to you?
I'm your tire guy. Like I got a guy. If somebody asks me, like, "Hey Matt, you know a guy?" Yep. Hey, you know this guy? Yep. Hey, and it's like networking,
It is.
business 101.
It is, brother.
Um, and being able to, how many times have you looked at a product at 1 o'clock in the morning, scrolling next to your wife, sitting there and just looking at something, and you don't have the answer? Like I get those text messages all the time. They're like, "Hey, holler at me in the morning. I got a question about this." Sends me a link, or I mean, whatever it is.
Yes.
And I mean, especially other business owners, like we do it or attempt to do it conservatively because we know how important our time is with our family.
Mm-hmm.
Also, like,
Mm-hmm.
hey, if this is, holler at me whenever you're free, kind of deal,
Yes.
or whatever that is. But it makes it personable. It's back to that being in the people business, or just having a question that I don't have to dig for hours to try and find the real answer. Have somebody on social media try and blow me up about how you don't know how to do this or not.
Yeah.
Like, hey, bro, I'm just like, forgive my ignorance. I'm just asking,
Yeah. Yeah.
and being able to do that, um, and it makes it personal.
Yes.
But in that same sense, I want to see my people make it. I know what my team does every single day. They're the lifeblood of my company, and I want them to want the things that they want, down to that being biblical. They're like, so let's how can I get you where you want to go by getting me where I want to go?
Mm.
and using my people. That was like one of the first conversations when we first started that I kind of got off on a rampage, but
No.
of getting mad about what they weren't doing instead of capitalizing on their good traits, instead of being mad about the stuff that they weren't doing right. And you're like, hey, stupid, they're on the wrong spot of the bus.
Mm.
Like, if you move him over here, we get to go this way.
Dude, that's amazing.
And I went home mad about it, talking mess. Just, this person does this and this person does this. And it, like, slapped myself in the face. Hey, this is why. Hey, this is why. Hey, quit being mad about this and look at all the other things that this guy does.
Mm.
Stop being mad about this and or the other side of it of me never. I'm all about here. I'll take care of it. I'm the problem solver. I do that with God too.
Yes.
I put it at His feet and then I turn around and pick it back up, thinking that I can do it faster.
Oh my gosh.
All the time. All the time. Guilty. And
Wow.
and being able to stop and be like, hey, if you teach them, watch the return on investment now. It takes this long. Slow down. I know you live in a high, fast-paced environment. Everybody needs this. Everybody has a problem. We still need to address all these things, but being able to execute on the downtime. And now let's look at, and talking to my guys, I'm like, hey, do you have every one of my guys has a potential of being a store manager.
Mm.
You run it, or better, like I got kids that are growing too that will potentially be in the business also. A generational tire family, if you will.
It's a trade, brother.
Absolutely. I didn't know that whenever I was working for Discount. Thank God for it.
It's a multi-million-dollar business.
Yeah.
Billion-dollar business, brother. Look what happened to Discount. Look what happened when you see, most people who work at Discount probably don't even know that. And you knew the story. And you were like, I can do that. I can do that. That's literally your answer when I asked you, why'd you take that leap of faith? Because I can do that.
I had Pastor Bert ask me. We were doing I was going through just like a rough patch in life, and he came by the store and bought some tires, and he's like, we're doing a men's little get together I only made it to like one or two of them, but in those couple of them, one of the questions was something along the lines of why people don't take the leap of faith. And I just answered him in passing of fear of failure or fear of other people's opinions. And that's 100. And it was like I answered like what he had written down already. And rightfully so, I had written it down somewhere along the way too. It's probably still in my notes on my phone. Of whatever that conversation led to was something I heard that had the same intent years prior. And I never, like, I knew the answer, but I still feel like I don't look at it like that, if that makes sense. I felt like a good scared, if you will, of like, this is opportunity. Or like me teaching the kids, I'm like, you don't study for your test the night before. Everything that we've been doing up until this point has been the preparation of the test you have tomorrow.
Mm.
So your job tonight is to get a good night's rest, pray about it, and we'll see you in the morning. You're already prepared for this because we've been doing this. You don't practice for the game the day before. You've been doing this for 10 years. You've been shooting that ball for 10 years.
That's right.
Can you get better? Absolutely. Should you? Absolutely. You think there's a gap in the difference of you playing an hour a day versus a kid that's locked in the gym? Yeah. Now look. That's the same thing. So, and that was me being locked in the gym. I'd done that for years. I knew the ins and outs of the industry. I knew who to call. I knew how to make the phone calls. I knew what I needed my markup to be. I knew what all the little parts and pieces. And another thing that I was thankful for is that I got to make all those mistakes on somebody else's dime. Not intentional,
Yes.
but I was able to put the wrong fitment on or order the wrong product and not be able to, like, if I did it now, I'd be in trouble. But now they have a guy that they can come to and say, hey, what fits on this? What's the right bolt pattern? What is safe load index? Whatever these questions are that are just there now, but it's just muscle memory. So I just knew that I could do it because that's what I've been doing. It's what I knew.
A lot of people work at a job, and most don't realize that what has actually happened is they're learning how that business operates. Some people take that knowledge and run with it. Most don't. Some people realize that, wait, I can do this. I can do this. I'm going to pay attention. I'm going to give it my all. I'm going to give it my all at discount for 13 years because I can do this. I'm going to learn the ins and outs. I'm going to learn the numbers. I'm going to learn the operations, the risks, the liability, insurance. How does insurance work? YouTube University. Boom.
100%.
You know what I'm saying, brother? It's possible. It's possible. You and I aren't sitting here as business owners because, we're just like, well, we'll give it a shot. No, we burn the ships.
100%.
We burn the ships.
100%.
There is no failure.
Yes.
I don't care if I'm the last dadgum tire company in the state of Texas. If everybody else, no. A&M is making it.
Yep.
John Barrera is making it.
Yes.
I don't care if the market's going to crap and the people are like, we can't buy houses. I will find a way to help you.
Yep.
I will find a way to help in real estate. And I will monetize off of that. And I will always continue to do that for my people of Kerrville. And that is how you and I will continue to be genuine and will continue to grow and continue to succeed because we have taken all of this and ran with it and said, I can do this.
Yeah.
And done it
That
correctly.
burn the boats mentality is 100% where it's at. There were plenty of days that I was a tool richer. I didn't have $1 more in my pocket, but I knew that I could do that job and then had to buy a specialty tool or do this or just whatever it is just to pay the bills. You know who's not going to let Matthew fail? Matthew. You know who's not going to let John fail? John, excuse my language, but I'd be damned if my kids aren't going to eat. I'm going to be damned if that light isn't going to turn on.
Right.
If I have to drive this business and work at McDonald's, I work 3 jobs and I'll MacGyver an alternator to a battery to make the light turn on. So when we will figure it out, but we will figure it out.
Yes.
Whatever it is, whatever that looks like, zero expectation. We're not just getting our feet wet.
That's true, man. That's true. A lot of people say, well, I prayed for it. Look, I give all glory to God in everything I have. But also, when I get on my knees and pray, I talk to God and I say, dear Lord, first I start with gratitude.
Me too.
Thank you for the breath in our lungs, for the food on our table, for everything. I don't make it repetition. I talk to my Lord, our Lord, and I talk to him. But I also say, please, in the name of Jesus, don't give me these things. Give me the vision to see the opportunities that are out there that you place in front of me.
Yeah, that's so powerful. I believe that. Last week, can I jump off on another?
Jump in, dude. You're on a podcast, brother.
So we're I just didn't want to. I felt like I was cutting you off, but that inspired some.
Dude, come on,
so
bro.
I get this phone call the other day. That's not even true. We're driving to school, and we're doing our daily Bible verse. I don't remember exactly what it said, but it was something to the extent of, give me the faith that Mary had. In believing that it was going to be true.
Gabriel told her?
Yes. That, and her being, well, this can't happen, this can't happen, this can't happen, this can't happen. But the end result was, give me her faith. Give me the faith she had. And then to jump to what you were saying is that of the prayer, I spent years in prayer of supplication, never even knowing the difference. I never knew that there were other forms of prayer or even the names of them or what it looked like.
What's supplication?
Asking for, God, please, God, please, God, please. I feel like every one of us are guilty in a sense of treating God like that. Like,
Yeah,
God, if I
yeah,
could please do this, I would do this. I can't
yeah.
tell you how many.
Making deals,
Yes, making deals. Absolutely.
dude.
Santa
Yeah,
Claus,
yeah,
whatever it
yeah,
is,
yeah, yeah.
100%.
Yes.
And whenever I was reading a book called 12 Traits of the Greats, I think that's what it's called.
Bro, that's 2 books you've already named off. One was a discount tire one. This was 12 trades of the
Did you
greats.
know Tim Allen was in prison?
Oh, cocaine, right?
I think.
Yeah,
I never got that far into the story of. I jumped off in the biblical. I never even finished the book.
yeah,
Literally got stuck in the biblical side of the book
yeah.
and started reading and learning what what different forms of prayer were, and then teaching myself, which also makes full circle being grateful, the gratitude side, and what it does in manifestation, if you will.
Mm.
Long story short, we're sitting there, we're having this conversation. I pray with the kids, they hop out the car, and I call my buddy Jesse, and I'm like, hey, man, I just had to share this with you because I felt some kind of way. He said, that's crazy because I was praying for um, confirmation of sorts. He said, and this is what, thank you for doing that. I said, don't thank me. I said, guess what I prayed for? I said, every single day we're given what we're supposed to have. Every single day we know he's going to provide, down to how it, giving my daily bread, and I'm getting it however you phrase the word bread, but
Yes.
he was going to
Yes.
provide.
Yes.
And praying for that. I said, so the only thing that I did different this morning was that whenever I was praying with the boys, is that I prayed for his will. Say, God, you'll already give me everything else. And I thank you for everything. I'm tired of asking how I'm praying for your will.
Mm.
Whatever that looks like today.
Faith.
Yes,
That's
exactly
faith.
what you were saying of give me the eyes to see
Yes.
and the ears to hear.
Yes.
Whatever that is.
Who needs my help?
Yeah.
Who needs my help? That's what our businesses are, dude.
Yes.
That's really all it is. You know, who needs our help? Let me help where I can. Boom, 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 boom. Next thing you know, you look at your bank account and you're like, all glory to God. Bro, you see me make closings and stuff, and I put all glory to God, and I put the hands like that, and then people are like, yeah, whatever. But like, is it am I doing that to be like, look at me, I'm a holy man? Or am I truly letting everybody know that this isn't just my doing? This isn't this.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like
it's not a flex.
No,
I'm
no.
100%
Dude,
a sinner.
me
I've
too,
fallen
brother.
short so many times,
I still
but
do.
it was because of his grace.
Yes. Yes, dude.
Not because of my foolishness, not because of my pride, not because of my sense of any part of the word, because I still have childlike tendencies. And I still fall short every single day.
Yes. That's why it's never one and done, dude.
It's not.
You're never you've never arrived. Do you want to hear my biggest epiphany?
Yes.
You want to hear my biggest epiphany of this
Yeah.
last 6 months? Actually, this last 3 months, dude. Is so I was coming up on November, and I knew I was going to be number one in the office. I knew I was going to be number one on the Tinsley Realty Group volumes and transactions, and that's what I've been working for all year. Boom, 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 boom. I focus on my goals. Once I focus on something, dude, laser, bro, laser. There's nothing that's going to come in the way. Family, business, boom, 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 boom. I'm going to nail those goals, and I will. But, dude, every time I hit a goal, my first house, my second house, to even have a vehicle, to get a wife, to do this, every time I hit a goal, brother, I never, ever arrive. I never get that Super Bowl moment. I never get that feeling. And for a long time, I thought I was broken. I thought I was messed. I'm like, what the hell's wrong with me? What's the matter with me, dude? Every time I get a trophy or a piece of glass or another house or another, every time I hit a goal, dude, I get a sense of sorrow. I always do. It never fails. It never fails. It's always been that way. And I haven't figured it out until these past couple of months. And it is truly because the hunt is over. That is what it is for me, dude. That
I
is
can
what it
so
is.
relate.
That is every freaking time. And I talked to my boss Summer about it, dude. If you want to know something, you ask somebody who is in the position that you want to be. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
What the hell's wrong with me? And she's like, John, I got it too. And what it is that you are you're all about the hunt itself, operations in the field. Getting to the goal is my high, brother. I'm 8 years sober and I'm higher now than I've ever been. Getting to the goal, the hunt, the everyday challenges, operations, these obstacles, these people to help every single freaking day, my children, like all of the challenges of being a father, of being a family man, a brother, a son, everything that comes with this, brother. We're surrounded by millionaires in Kerrville, but I am the richest here, dude. Excuse my language.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
Dude, I'm just so happy. I forgot we're on here again, dude. It's the hunt for me. And I had that epiphany. And when I realized that, brother, I just, I feel like I got it figured out. I know I'm far from it,
Yeah.
but I feel like that, that little light, that epiphany that I had, let me know that, you know, what gets me going. So it's not the trophy I'm after anymore. You know, of course I'm chasing my goals. Of course I'm chasing my numbers. I'm chasing my time with my children. I'm chasing all of these things that I'm chasing, but it's the actual chase, the race, the hunt, the operations. So that's what it is, dude. That's what it is for me. And I look at all these successful people, dude, including you, and you know, I realize that I'm not alone.
Yeah, at all. I feel like that for good businessmen, that you're like it's never enough. It's not that it's never enough. It's like the fear of complacency or the fear of not helping the people that you want to see make it get to where they want to go, because you're like, hey, I'm driving this bitch, but you gotta it you gotta, as long as you grind with me, like it's a big deal to eat at my table.
It is.
And I don't mean that
It is.
disrespectfully to anybody, but like I have a certain form of pride towards it, or a certain form of emotional attachment to it, of this is special to me because of this. Because of what it, like whenever Conor McGregor said I wouldn't eat with people I wouldn't starve with, that's how I feel about that. Whenever, like, I felt that when he said that, I was like, oh my, like,
Yes.
this is better than the fight.
Bro, the winners, love them or hate them. Love or
Yes.
hate Tom Brady. Love or hate Conor McGregor. Why are they there?
Yes.
Why are they there? And what you just said, there's a reason behind that. There's a reason behind you want the best correlated with your name. There's a reason why when somebody asks me where I do my tires is why I give your name, because you're a direct reflection of me. And
Yeah.
I'm a direct reflection of you. And how you operate is a direct reflection of me. I have a tool belt. I don't have a million tools on my tool belt.
So
I got one plumber. I got one tire man. I consider myself the best realtor in the hill country. I don't care about who's been in the game longer, who does more houses, who does less houses, who's prettier. I don't care about any of that. I care about what's in here.
Yeah.
You pass me somebody, I'm going to treat them just like I treat you, just like I treat my mama, just like I treat my clients, bro. That's what I'm going to give. That's what I'm going to give every single time. I'm going to give everybody my all. And I'm a tool on a lot of people's belts, and I consider a small group of people a tool on my belt. And like you said, I want the best at my table, and that's what I want too. I keep my wife up there too. I keep my
Me
kids up
too.
there too.
Yep.
I keep my family up there too. Not all blood is family, and not all family is blood.
Very true.
I'm telling you, brother, it my circle is smaller now than ever, but it's impenetrable. It is impenetrable. I consider myself elite, and I consider those who I roll with also that way. And I think it should take work and and professionalism to be part of my circle, because I'm working every day to be part of yours.
Yeah. Working really hard is what successful people do. No one. That's another one of my boy Jesse's quotes. He's like, "No one sees how hard you work. Nobody." And they don't. Like that. That's part of it too. Like, do you? Is it twice as much? Sure. Do you? I get to pick the time though. So if I get to press pause on this and spend time with the family, and then pick it up at 2 a.m. to finish the books or do whatever that is, but it's a grind. But
Mm.
that's part of it. You see that meme float across your news feed of temporary sacrifice for long term growth.
Mm-hmm.
That's what that is.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we're so just consumed by the immediate gratification side of how fast life moves.
It's difficult to get out of that. I'm addicted to my phone because I'll do my phone for work, I'll get distracted, and next thing you know, I'm 30 minutes into TikTok or 30 minutes into Reels or 30. Oh, dadgummit.
Yep,
I have so much work to do, brother, on myself. And I think that's what
me
makes us
too.
great is because we know we will never arrive.
Yeah,
So that is
fear of complacency.
yes, dude.
Yeah,
Fear of complacency. We will never arrive. That's why the great are great. Tom Brady has never made it.
I like the way you
Conor
said that.
McGregor has.
That was good. That was so good.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah,
It is, bro. All this crap I'm regurgitating is
I
just
do
what
the same.
just what
But
the
it's
greats have
that's
told me.
just like yes, absolutely. Don't be a gatekeeper. Like just let it. If it hits you, it might hit. Whenever we had that conversation, I was walking in my front yard, and you asked me to come be on the podcast. I was thinking about that literally whenever you said that. Of like, I don't. It's never about it being a flex. It's never about it being like, oh, look at this, look at whatever it is. Of just those moments, those aha moments
Yes.
that you get, and
Yes.
then you're like hoping that somebody picks back up on it the same way. That's why greats are great.
I will tell you the sad truth is I'm not afraid to tell people what I do to be successful in real estate. I'm not afraid to tell anybody what I do to be the best father I can be. And I'm not afraid to tell anybody. Actually, I'm honored to tell everybody about giving my heart to Christ. And the reason I'm not afraid to tell everybody what I do is because 1 out of 100 will try it, and about half of them will do it, and maybe half of them will do it right. How do you lose weight? Two things: you diet, and
Exercise.
how do you get faster? You run. How do
Yeah.
you get
How do you
money?
better at swimming? Swimming. How do you, bro?
There's
Preaching
no
to the choir.
secret, Matt.
None of it. None of it.
Anybody could be
100%
where you
true.
are with A&M Tires
Yes.
and have multiple
Yep.
A&M Tires. Why don't they do it?
That is
Why doesn't anybody
so,
get their license, bro?
so true.
If an alcoholic like me can be right here sitting talking to you, why the hell can't anybody else? Because it takes action. It takes doing the dadgum thing.
Yep.
And it's uncomfortable. It's difficult, and you're going to get judged the whole time. But I'll tell you what, people are going to talk no matter what. People are going to talk if you're broke living at your mama's house, and people are going to talk if you're making money and you're
Yep.
shining. And I've been both, brother.
Me too.
I've been both. So I want everybody to know out there, it's time. If you've been waiting for a sign, this is your sign This is your sign right now. I hope this podcast, out of the thousands that listens, reaches you, one person right now who's been waiting for your moment to get up and change, to make that business, to take the first steps of your exercise, to start that relationship, to rekindle that relationship,
Yeah.
to take that step. Don't be afraid to give your heart to Christ, to know that you are a sinner just like me and Matt, and know that you're far from perfect, and we are too. We're probably more messed up than you are, but just, if you've been waiting for a sign, this is it.
Yeah.
This is
You
it.
won't do it till you do it.
That's right.
Yep.
Matt Crenwelge, I got one last question for you, brother. What type of legacy do you want to leave? You've been working your whole life, dude, and what is it you're working for? What is the legacy that you want to leave here after you're not here anymore?
I literally thought about this question, not even in anticipation of you asking it, but I it weighs heavy on me daily of your just your legacy in general. From the moment that I knew my faith was fortified to everything in between. And feeling it on the opposite side of how people talk about my dad and wondering about what that will look like. And I think the most profound thing that I'd love to leave, whether it's a living legacy or not, of not something happening to them, but something this right here, the things that they've seen happen to you and I, and they're like, I didn't want to bring my life to Christ because of something that happened to me, but something that I saw happen to you, and you never lost your faith.
Mm.
Like, you went through this, you watched your dad put a gun in his mouth, you lost your best friend, your house burned to the ground, your marriage was in shambles, your business was in shambles, and you got up the next day to thank God. Why are you thanking him for this?
Job.
Why? Yeah, 100%. Like, why wouldn't I? So I want to give my life to Christ, not because of something that happened to me, but because of what I saw happen to you. And I don't know how you get to that point. I struggle with that all the time. Doing things right, but not doing the right things. Do I step here or do I not? Like, what I struggle with, or like the difference in a gift and a calling. Maybe this right here is what it really is. About me talking to you about being afraid of speaking. I don't know. I haven't made it there yet.
I'll tell you what, dude. You didn't give up this whole time. And you continued to give all glory to God. You weren't just hanging in there for you. You're hanging in there for people you have never met and who might you not even meet. Your story and the fact that you haven't given up and you still poured your heart into Christ, just like Job. I don't know why you're doing this. I don't know. I'm angry. But I believe, bro, you stuck it out because you might just save a soul. Matt Crenwelge, is an honor to have you as my new brother, dude.
Honored to be here. Thank you.
Thank you. You want to come on back?
Absolutely, I will.
Dude, that was like top 2 podcast. You just mentioned you're afraid to speak. I would have never known it. And dude, come on back, brother.
Thank you.
Is there anything you want to say to Kerrville before we take off?
Yeah, thank y'all. Every single one of y'all. Everybody that reached out, that donated their money, their time, their prayers. There, the things that I'm forgetting, the people that I'm forgetting, every single one of y'all that are a part of our community that do business with us, that help us with our kids, with our business, with everything in between. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Kerrville. And if you need to get your tires checked, and if you are moved by this podcast, how did they get a hold of Matt Crenwelge? What's your number, brother?
830-370-5889. It's the one in my pocket. Anytime. Shoot me a text. Call me.
Amen.
We'll get you taken care of.
All right, everybody. Y'all have a blessed one. Thank you again, Kerrville.